Oh yeah, looks like we'll go. Looks like we'll go. Good morning. Oh, look at this already. Howdy strangers, I like. Like we have some of those here. Good morning, guys. Gang. Another rainy day in Tokyo. We're setting world records here with the rain. It was in the newspaper, I think, yesterday. I forget the exact number. 21 days with less than 1 hour of sunshine a day or something like this. Worst since records started or something like this. It's had a bit of a strange impact on our business, all this rain. We're actually sold out still almost every day for the print parties, but it's happening in a way that's unusual compared to our normal pattern. Normally the print parties, they're booked quite a ways in advance. Not all of them, but most of them. The situation we've got now is because it's a rainy season and very few regular travelers are here. What's happening is this: we will get reservations early morning for print parties that day. You know, for example, about this time we may hear the bell ring or something for parties that come in for today. And when the people get here, it turns out that these are people who don't know anything about our work. They've never seen us. They don't know about the heroes. They don't know about Mokuhankan. Simply they woke up on their vacation and in the hotel where they're having breakfast or something, they do their Googling rainy day activities in Tokyo, something like this. And we pop up. If you Google rainy day activities in Tokyo, I guess we pop up pretty high up at the list there. So we're getting here lots of people who know nothing about us. We popped up on their Google, they click to the website, see that we've got a space for 2 people or something this afternoon or tomorrow or whatever, and they make their booking. So the bookings are all coming in as last minute bookings instead of stuff that was booked well in advance. And it's sort of okay, but the downside of this is what these people do, almost all of them, the same pattern happens. They come for the party, they have fun, and they walk out the door. And some of them don't even notice. They don't even notice that we've got prints here, you know. They just come to the party, walk out the door. So the amount of, what's it called, extra shopping or whatever that these people do is very, very low, next to zero. And we don't push it. We don't. At the end of the print party, we don't say, and now please take a look at our shopping. We don't do that. So the print parties are fine, but the general revenue here this month is extremely low. Rain, rain, rain. Yes, paper's out. Three packs today. Suga-san is doing The Girl on the Bicycle, small Hunger Club print. Dei-chan is doing, I can't remember. Oh yeah, Dei-chan is doing the 3rd print in the Japan Journey. She's trying a reprint of that. It's a new experiment for her. And Ishikawa-san is doing the T-Fields print. She's doing her batch of the T-Fields print. Did I hear Audrey-san news? I don't know. I know her life has taken a couple of changed patterns in the past month or so. I'm not sure. Has she made some specific announcement about this? I don't know. She's supposed to be here Wednesday. I'm not sure what I can say or what I'm allowed to say. What is the news that we've seen? Ah, engaged. Okay. Yeah, this is the announcement of this. Okay. I know. We know the young man. Okay. Yeah, she's moved. She moved last week. So I guess this is all happening stage by stage, step by step. No, so it's formal now, is it? Okay. Another one met at Mokohankan. Oh my God. Did she say anything about that in her various announcements then? Met at a Mokohankan print party. No, I didn't know it was formal, sorry. So I wonder then if that's a countdown to losing her, I suppose, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, be careful. Mokohankan print parties are dangerous. What's that? You know the story? The guy who repeatedly made print party reservations on a Wednesday. Yes, this is what happened. How do you know that? How do you know that? Or has she been telling the stories too? It was a bit of a, I can't say a problem, that's not the right word to use. The guy came, did a print party, whatever, no problem. I forget the print we had of the day. It must have been whatever. For sure. It must have been the Peach Boy print or whatever, and he reserves a couple of weeks later, and we try and find a different set of blocks, and then he comes back a couple of weeks later, and a couple of weeks later. We're struggling to find different block sets before we finally realized he wasn't really here to the print parties, he was here for another reason. So, oh, great. Interesting. Oh my God. Mokohankan. So you remember everything I say. I know about this. I should keep quiet a bit. Get in trouble telling stories. Yeah, this is the last Octopus block. It might not be the last Octopus block. As we talk about, I might have to recarve some of the hair. When I was carving the second hair block, probably cut some of the stuff a bit too much on it, so we might have to recut some of the hair. We'll see. So the schedule today is Monday. There are a few things I do need to talk about and to announce. I guess Cameron will be here today probably, usual time, 8:40 or so. We do have a small show and tell, the one that I talked about on Friday. I sort of semi-promised it Friday. It didn't come in the mail, and it came over the weekend. So it's not a major show and tell, something a little bit interesting. Quite a bit of it, actually, a bit of an unusual item, overlap between the traditional cheap and dirty printmaking and the world of art printmaking, a little bit overlap, a bit of a strange item. We'll see that towards the end of the stream here. Then also I've got to start thinking about the announcement thing. I'm going to the Genius Bar in the Apple Store tomorrow. I've got an appointment there at 10:30, and they're going to take my computer, my laptop. It's going to go in for servicing. I'm part of that recall, the Battery Fire Danger MacBook group. That's me. So my laptop is disappearing on Tuesday. So what am I going to do for the stream? Because this is what we do. My laptop right now is running 3 cameras and streaming, etc., etc., etc. What we did over the weekend, I had a bit of time for this. I finally got our counter computer. We've got an iMac over here, an old iMac on the counter over here, which we use in the shop. People ask us to Google for something for them, or we show some of our YouTube videos, whatever, in the shop. And that computer, we're going to repurpose it. We're going to try and repurpose it for running the stream. And in order to do that, I updated it yesterday to 10.12, which I think is the maximum that it would take. And I installed OBS, the streaming software, on it last night. But I haven't done a test run yet. And that computer is way less powerful than the MacBook that I'm using now. So after I take my MacBook away on Tuesday, and I come back Tuesday night and do a test of how the broadcast is going to work. Now it does work, it runs the software, but it's quite possible that we won't be able to run 3 cameras at the same time because it just doesn't have the balls for it. So we'll see how it goes, and it'll run 1 camera, and that may be what we've got for the next couple of weeks until my own computer comes back from Apple. So Wednesday's stream will be here, but the appearance of the stream may be a bit different. We may not be able to stream in full video, the same video quality that we're streaming now, and it may not be a multiple camera setup the way we have now. So it could be a sort of a bare bones 1 camera, lower fidelity stream for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. I won't know until I actually fire it up and give it a try. And how long that's going to take, I don't know. Markus-san, a young boy in Finland who is doing the Hasagawa font production, he got his back the other day, and he said I think it took 25 days for him to have that battery replaced. 25 days. So I have no idea. Turnaround in Tokyo will be faster than Finland, or I don't know. So anyway, just stand by for some technical changes to the stream over the next while. I'm also really looking forward to the work on the font now that he's back. Lewis Johnson. It's not a name I know. I'm sorry, I haven't seen that. No. No, I'm not complaining about this battery replacement because actually there's a real silver lining to this for me. This MacBook that I've got, I really want to keep it for as long as possible. The new ones are not to my taste at all. This one has a ton of ports, and I need them. I mean, right now I've got 2 USB video cameras plugged in. We use the Thunderbolt. I need all those ports that are there, and the newer Macs don't have anywhere near as many. So I'm not interested in upgrading to a newer laptop. I'd like to keep this old one. So if this changeover goes all well, I'll come out of this with a brand new battery, which means that this computer will be good for a number more years, 3, 4, 5 more years. So I'm not upset about this at all. Ports. I want ports. Which delivery is this? Is that the man with the towels, I think? Or is it the oyster man? Towels, I think. I guess you can't see him. I can see him from where I'm sitting. No, oysters, I think. bitching about the Apple stuff, I guess we all do that. We all like to do that. There's people that really do. But over the years, since I got my first one, I really have to say I've had very, very, very few problems. I don't remember how many I've bought over the years. Early 1990s, I guess I got the first one. And for the most part, they're computers that have served really well with very few technical problems. I got one lemon. I bought one that was called I don't think it had a model number or a name. It was the 4400. It was, the pre-Jobs era, of course. Scully was still in. That was a real lemon, an absolute lemon, top to bottom. The 4400. I fought it for about 2 or 3 years before giving up and getting something else. But every other one I've had has done wonderful service for years and years and years. The one upstairs, the one that I'll be using for my own email and stuff like this over the next couple of weeks while the laptop is out, it's, 1989 or something, I don't know. And it's still trucking away up there. Runs our bookkeeping software. The reliability has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And what's the term that professional IT people use? The amount of time you have to spend on each machine, its lifetime or something for maintenance and whatever, There's a term that's involved. It's not just the hardware, how long it lives itself. It's how much time you don't have to spend working out viruses and doing this and doing that. I forget the technical term. These machines that we've used have been set and forget for the most part. They just keep running and keep running and keep running. Can I point the mic at me a bit more? Well, it's right here in front of my body. It's sitting on the table, so it might be picking up desk noises a bit more. Well, Cameron's going to be here this morning, and because he's been away for the weekend, of course, his mailbox is stuffed. And as usual, over the weekend, I try to monitor what's happening in the general Mokohankan inbox. Normally, during the week, I don't see it, but on the weekend, I try and monitor it because sometimes requests come in for a print party change or stuff like this that come to the wrong email. So I've been keeping an eye on the inbox, not answering the mails or anything, just keeping an eye on what's in there. And we put up the new video, the one that Cameron prepared with Suga-san, that went up, I guess, Friday night, Friday afternoon? I don't actually remember, I'm sorry. Yeah, it must have been Friday afternoon, just in front of the weekend. So, and it's not specifically a sales video, but it just shows Suga-san printing that summer tea fields print. But because that design is from this year's Japan Journey series, I guess there were people who followed the links. And Cameron's going to find in his mailbox this morning, I didn't actually count them, I don't know, there's 15 or 20 or something requests from people who want to get on the mailing list. And when the Japan Journey series is back in preparation, will you please let me know? And there's well over a dozen of them. So I have no idea what the count is of people waiting there. It's embarrassing. We call ourselves a publishing company, but we can't even get the stuff out into the world. The staff was joking with me about it on Saturday. I was telling the staff here yesterday about that situation. I said, well, Dave, there's an easy solution. You have a printing bench in Olney. Just get out there. Get busy. How many can you make, I was a professional printer once upon a time. Well, I guess, whatever, yeah, should I do that? Leave the print parties to the staff here, leave the shop to the staff here, and go back to, maybe a printer. I don't know. What's the way for me to be most productive for the organization, you know? There's no way I could do printing here. You know, if I was upstairs doing the printing, you start a batch of prints, somebody's gonna come running from upstairs. Dave, what's this? Dave, what's this? Come meet this person. Dave, go do a selfie. Dave, come do this. There's no way you can print in that environment that I could do it. You know, the only way I could do printing is if I got out of here, went back there, unhooked the telephone. You just can't print smoothly and steadily when there's a million distractions going on. You just can't do it. The carving thing sort of works. I sit here carving, something else happens, I put down the knife, I do it, and you pick up the knife and continue, because there's no question of moisture balance or rhythm or whatever. You know, you just chip away bit by bit. But you can't print the same way that I'm doing this carving, just a minute at a time and a minute at a time. At the moment, I'm not using the lavalier. At the moment, the Zoom unit is sitting on the bench in front of me, with the microphone right there in front of me right now. I can't turn the camera to show you. This is the way we've been doing the stream now for the past half a year or something. I don't actually wear this one. The microphone's right in front of me. And it's quite a wide range mic. It's picking up the outside noise, everything else. And maybe it's also picking up this. Broadcasting from Ome. I think probably John is the only person on this chat or anywhere near this chat who remembers those days. He's actually seen me running webcams from Ome. Back in the early days, this would be, my God, when would that be? 10 years ago or something, you know. The first step to this was I had a camera above the bench, and we called it a webcam, but it wasn't shooting video. It was just sending up an image every 8 seconds or so. So it was a JPEG that got updated every 8 seconds or so. And what we did was on the web page where that image was showing, there was a question box where you could type stuff in that I would see. And then there was a link to my Skype address. And sometimes people like John, whatever, they would Skype in while I was doing that. So we chat with Skype while the camera was taking its pictures, click every 8 seconds or so. It's a million years ago. And I think the next step was when Ustream opened up here in Japan. They had a very reasonable deal where you could send your little signal up to Ustream, 640 by 480, whatever it was. and people could watch it on the Ustream page, kind of like this Twitch, but very, very low level of. And then they changed. It turned out they couldn't work with a freebie model, so they wanted a fee, and I forget the fee. It sounded interesting at first. It was no problem. 1 minute, one yen per viewer per minute or something. It sounded like that. So, well, 1 yen per viewer per minute. That's not much. That's really, really cheap. Turns out it's not really, really cheap at all. So, when you did the math, you know. So we couldn't do that. We couldn't run with that. So the webcam disappeared for a while. I opened up here in Asakusa. I wasn't doing carving printing every day. So the woodblock webcam went to sleep. Until we picked up Twitch, and that was in August of, what, nearly 2 years ago, actually. So, 2017. August of 2017, I think, we did the first Twitch test stream. I used to archive myself those old the old woodblock webcam streams back in the 1990s, whatever it was. I have a stack of DVDs archiving those things, those things with the 8-second camera shots and things. I don't know why I did. I was just curious to see how it worked. So I used to record them to disc at the same time as they were going out. So somewhere in a box out in Ome is this archive of these photographs. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. Kalisa and I, last night, we went out for dinner together. He was printing late. After we closed up the shop about 7 o'clock, 7:30. He'd been upstairs printing. Two of us went out for dinner, and I had noticed a new place that looked like it might be interesting for dinner. We went there last night, and it was really, really cool. And you guys have perhaps heard of it. We went to the Wired Cafe Chaya here in Asakusa for dinner last night. And we had a great king taco rice bowl. The Wired Cafe, and it's on the ground floor of the Wired Hotel here in Asakusa. And I don't really know what's the connection with the magazine and all that stuff, or whether some Japanese company has just licensed the name, or whether it's the same organization or what, I don't know. Well, Mr. Kelly was here a couple of years ago. He dropped into the shop and introduced himself. Actually, I knew who he was when he walked in, because I'd seen him before. We chatted for a while. I expressed interest in the recent reprint he'd done of the Polar Earth catalog and stuff like that, and he had seen our YouTube videos and whatever, so we had a bit of a mutual admiration conversation going on. I don't know how much he's involved with the corporation still, or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so we went to the Wired Cafe yesterday, and it was great. Not so expensive, really tasty, very quiet, peaceful environment, no smoking. I will be back. the Wired Chaya Cafe in Saxa. Very, very nice dinner. This stream brought to you by I'm missing most of this. Sorry, you guys are talking too much. Leaving a camera running in the corner of the shop and live streaming it. No can do. There's privacy issues here. This is a public space. And I don't think I can do that. I'm not about to even investigate the legal issues. The local shop owners association here is in the process of having cameras installed down the street, and it's involved years of negotiation with City Hall, the police department, all kinds of stuff. So it's not something I'd be doing. So also, I don't think customers would be comfortable with that, walking into a shop thinking that it was being live streamed. I mean, we all know that there's security cameras recording and stuff like that here and there. But I don't think live streaming public spaces as a policy is such a great idea. So, TV. It's tomorrow. That NHK program, the Somewhere Street. I got the card from them. It's happening 3 times. I will be posting more information about this. I posted on Facebook the other day. The general worldwide broadcast is happening on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock here, Japan time, and it'll be repeated about a week later, 6 days later, on a different time frame and a different day, and then again another about a week later. So it's coming up 3 times in the next few weeks at different times and dates. We'll be posting about it again on Facebook. But anyway, the first broadcast is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock in the evening, here in Japan, and on whatever cable overseas is picking it up. Conversation. Archive streams expire after 2 weeks, only on the Twitch page. Twitch keeps them for 2 weeks, and then the fans have been picking them up from the Twitch page, putting them on a separate YouTube channel. I don't have the link to that right here. I don't even know what it's called. Acolytes of the Baron, YouTube. So the Twitch streams are archived in perpetuity. So can I talk about script style? Script style. You mean the Hasegawa font? Is Marku-san here? We're waiting for some news on this, which will be coming really quite soon now. The Hasegawa font, if that's what you're talking about, the script, is in its last stages of preparation, I believe. I've got the web page ready for it. I've got the download package ready for it. I haven't got the video made yet. It'll be David's Choice video number 10. So as soon as those last couple of steps are in place, as soon as I get my video ready, and as soon as Marco's got the release version ready, we'll be going live with the Hasegawa font any day now. Meanwhile, Mark was saying, Dave, it's not any day now. Shoot, 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 shoot. The program that's in question here, in the English version, it's called Somewhere Street. If you Google NHK World Somewhere Street or NHK Video on Demand Somewhere Street, you will find it there, but they don't broadcast them live. The NHK World Video on Demand version uses cherry-picked episodes from the past, and whether our episode is going to be featured there or not, I don't have any idea. They haven't told me about that. So at some point down the line, it'll be out there. Yeah, I don't think they do it live or even close to live because there's a lot of post-production involved. Now, the program itself is a Japanese language program aimed at Japanese viewers. And to produce an English version of it, it's a whole bunch of post-production, of course. So they don't do it at the moment or live. Also, too, please remember, it's a 1 hour program, but it's not a 1 hour program about us. This is about Asakusa, and specifically this street in Asakusa, Dori, our street. So it's not all about me. We've got, I didn't even know, is it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? I don't have any idea. If you go by the trailer, it looks like there's at least 4 main places featured. The whale meat restaurant, the theater next door, our shop, and some other restaurant, I don't know. So if you don't get a chance to see it, don't panic too much. It's just another TV program. Oh, where's the man himself? Good morning, sir. Before you settle down, before you sit down, can I make one quick request? There's a show and tell today, part of which I've got right here, but there's something else that could show and tell. It's still upstairs. Okay. So can I ask you to run to my room?
Yeah.
That novella thing we got the other day. The book, the guy, it's about a 1-inch thick, that book that...
I think I remember it. Wait, who's it by, or...
It's the one it's got a Japanese print label on the front. It's on the old party bench, just right where we're sitting. Sorry to make you run, but before you settle, thank you. Oh, Sugi-san's are also, right? Yeah, I can hear them up the stairs together. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry to make you run for stuff.
Got
Excuse
it.
me. I wasn't here. I wasn't here when he came.
Okay.
He came on Friday morning when I was out, so I never had a chance to talk to him about it.
Got it. Yeah.
So
it is nicely bound. I think.
did it himself, maybe. We'll talk about that soon. Hang on a sec. So here we are. Hey, Tane, what do we do? Move the cameras over? I kill the iMac camera, pull up the other one. Oh, I've had it on the wrong size all the time. Look at that. Here we go.
Has everyone watched the YouTube video yet?
But have you seen your mailbox yet? Have you been?
Yes, I did. I looked through it a bit on the train. I was, whoa.
Subscription request. I did was like there's 15
Not just
people.
Japan Journey, though. A whole bunch of people signed up for other things too. It was
But the
exciting.
Japan Journey request, is it okay there or no?
Oh, that's,
That should be independent, shouldn't you?
yeah. But
Yeah.
exciting. Lots of people finding out about the work.
There's lots of stuff going on. I know news. I know stuff I didn't know about. We just started the stream here a few minutes ago, and people came in. Have you heard Audrey's news?
No, I haven't heard that.
No, I hadn't either, but I got a hint about what it was because I know that she moved last week from her apartment by herself. It seems somebody said here she's engaged, so I guess she's posted to Instagram or something. I don't know where that news came from. I have no idea. But
well, that's nice. That's
yeah, you know the
happy
backstory.
news. You met her here, right?
Print party.
That's great.
Have you met the man yourself, the young man?
Once or twice when really early on when he was just coming to a bunch of print parties. I think that's the only time.
Just because he really liked Momotaro.
Yeah, he just really wanted to keep reprinting for him.
The other news, which I haven't talked about yet. Did you see Suga-san just going upstairs?
No,
or was that you? I
didn't
thought I
see
heard your voice when you were talking to her. It just came in. Suga-san, we had the meeting Friday night.
Right, yes, I want to hear more. I read your email and then thought, I'll just wait until Monday to hear the rest of your news.
I know, she is so excited about this.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, she's basically peeing herself just in excitement. She wants this to happen so
good.
badly.
I'm so glad.
Oh, you mean you might have been afraid because it
I
would
don't
be
know.
No.
Losing work or I don't know.
No, she knows that's not a possibility.
Okay,
She's
good.
just. I was talking to her about it. Was it yesterday? She was here the day before after the meeting, And we started talking about her eyes light up, and basically she's, I can run to the bathroom. You could pee yourself. She's so excited about it.
Good.
But it's not. It can't happen yet. It can't happen yet. I don't know. Whatever this stuff I can't mention here on the stream, but this guy is he's drunk our Kool-Aid.
Cool.
He's drunk our Kool-Aid. And we spent about an hour and a half here talking while we were still waiting for Suga-san to come down from upstairs.
Wow.
It was great. I don't know. I think she planned this. I don't know. She's washing her brushes upstairs.
For an hour and a half.
You guys go for dinner. You guys go for dinner yourself. And I want to go for dinner with her. What can I talk about?
Oh my goodness, how may I help you, says. People might be jumping to conclusions.
Whatever, I don't know.
We may be able to keep up on our bits.
Whatever, we chatted with somebody on Friday who might have a chance to be doing some printing for us. We can say that. That's okay. That's public okay. Some sort of introduction came from Suga-san, somebody that Suga-san knew in part of her past life when she worked in different places. And this young man came over here today, not as a job interview, but just to see what we're like. He'd heard from Suga-san that this is kind of an interesting place. So he came over to say hello so that I could meet him and that he could see us. And that's what we can, that's okay. Yeah. That's all that's happened so far. Mm-hmm. But when I say to Cameron, this young man drunk the Kool-Aid, what it means is we were able to show him what we are doing here, our kind of work. I pulled some prints out of my collection on Friday to show him. Mm-hmm. And he had never seen anything like that before in his life, So
interesting.
There's a fun part of this in that people who are working in this craft, trade, business, whatever word, people who are currently working in this craft here sometimes don't have much knowledge of the history of this. History meaning 50 years ago, 70 years ago, 100 years ago. Because they only know what they've learned in the workshop where they're learning right now.
Yeah.
And over the course of the 20th century, those workshops became very, what's the word?
Tunnel vision. No.
They could only see what they're doing without any knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah.
So this young man who was sort of trained at one of these workshops suddenly has seen a bunch of stuff that he's never even heard of before. And he's seen a workshop where they're making prints that are kind of cool, kind of neat, and kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So when I say he drunk the Kool-Aid, what I mean is he sort of understands now that this place, Mokohanka, that he'd heard about, he sort of gets the idea what it's about.
Yeah,
here.
do things a little differently.
Yeah, so I think the end of the story is that this person who had heard about us now has some respect for us that he didn't know before. So this may affect his future employment situation.
Yes.
we hope.
We hope.
That's all we're going to talk about. That's all we're going to talk about. So. But just to
Nothing
think,
is decided. Encoding overload. Consider turning down settings, it says. We dropped a few frames. Interesting.
There's nothing wrong. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Up to anything.
Okay.
Somebody earlier was commenting about the audio. The audio was apparently a bit funny and mixed, and it's exactly the same setting we've used for
Every day.
for the past quite a while.
Interesting.
I also mentioned too that my laptop. Maybe you don't know. I booked at the Genius Bar on Tuesday 10:30 in the morning.
Okay.
So I lose this
Tomorrow.
computer tomorrow at 10:30.
Because you got that one running, right?
I got it up to 10:12.
All right.
So it runs OBS, which I tested, but I didn't test it with 3 video cameras and broadcasting because that's an old chip.
Yeah, so it might...
So I've warned everybody. Wednesday there will be a
Might
stream. It might be down to 1 camera, and it might be down to a. I think
Lower resolution.
John Becker was joking. He said like whatever, 680 by 420,
Yeah.
10 FPS or whatever. You can laugh, but that might be where we'll be. So we'll see. So.
We'll see how it goes.
And also, I've got to figure out a way that I have to move that iMac over here on this stand. So we're going to be faced with the giant iMac sitting here.
That's right.
Whatever. So I don't know. We'll see.
Is it glued to the...
It's got a peg,
lazy...
so I've got to figure something out. Yeah, it's got a peg on its lazy Susan. So that's another thing to work out. We'll see. We'll work it out. We've been through more difficult things before.
Instead of 1080p, 12p video next time.
Well, don't laugh. That sounds like that Raymar camera we were using. What did he give me? He gave me like 2 FPS. What was the number? We got up to 6 FPS, I think, at one point. You know.
We are cruising.
Raymar. WRAYMAR.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor of this channel.
I am curious to fiddle with that. I'm wondering if we can get it to cooperate a little better.
Part of it was light levels. It's obviously not so sensitive because it thought there wasn't enough light.
Yeah.
So it had to lengthen its exposure time to like half a second, which means it could only stream 2 FPS.
Yeah.
So that was their explanation in the email, I think. Light's not enough. But we had a bright light.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, would have done it again.
Yeah.
Once upon a time or sometime we'll work on it, but not a high priority right now.
Thanks, Heritage Printmakers.
Okay, let me see
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I want to say I really enjoyed the format of the last YouTube video. Woo!
There's been some quite complimentary people. Thanks, Cameron, and thanks, cameraman, and whatever it's like. Have you been following the comments?
I opened it once.
Opened it once?
Yeah.
Well, quite complimentary stuff.
Yeah. It's like people were happy. And someone, I was surprised, I don't know if you saw a comment that didn't seem related to the video. It said, I hope you got a picture of that dragonfly or something. Did you see that comment?
Yeah, I did. I assumed it was something personal for you. Whatever your trip to Niigata last week or something?
No, my trip to the U.S. a month ago. I was just walking around the neighborhood one day while Ren was taking a nap and stumbled on some guy who used to be the biologist for the Indiana Dunes National Park. And he had a big garden. And he was outside just watering the garden or something.
So you just start chatting around?
Yeah, and just started chatting with him. And he said, there are a couple big dragonflies right over there. Go chase them down.
For Ren, you mean?
Yeah, it was really fun. Just a nice guy.
Yeah, I assumed it was something brilliant.
Yeah.
No problem. No, cool. So how does he know about our YouTube channel?
We just talked, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm living in Japan. What kind of work do you do in Japan?" And I talked about talked about Mokuhankan and stuff, and then I guess he found it on his own because I didn't write it down a bunch of URLs. He just found us, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I assumed it was something like that.
Yeah.
We're going to be tight in the shop today. It's just me and Kawai-san. We're coming into the summer problem where people are off here.
Traveling and stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wadabashi-san is teaching printmaking
That's right.
over in Britain. She's gone now for a month.
Yeah.
So actually, you and Kira and me and Kawai, that's the entire staff.
Set up camp here at the desk.
Yeah, I think it's... we do the bookkeeping, the only stuff first, whatever. No new subscriptions, whatever.
Yeah, quite a few. The clock on the wall says it's show and tell time, according to John Becker. It's 9:10.
Ah, so okay.
No, it's 9:10:11.
Okay.
Interesting that we keep encountering encoding overload. You haven't changed any settings at all, and I've never seen that notification before.
It's summertime.
So it's just hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
So, remember we had that from last year?
Yeah,
that's
right.
why I put up on the feed today.
Got it. Makes sense.
Summertime. Yeah. Okay, what have we got here? Tonight. Zoom out a bit.
Took apart my computer 2 nights ago and pulled out all the dust that had filled.
Oh yeah, I should.
Filled it up.
I think that's probably going to do that one. Okay, I was going to open this on stream, but while I was winning the weekend, Doi-san opened this. He knew he could. He opened it, found out what it was, put his little memos and notes on and stuff. Whatever. So. What we have here, this is a real weird little item. I saw it on an auction and bid on it because it looked really interesting. It looked like a bit of a weird thing. The prints involved here are actual hand-cut woodblock prints in the traditional sort of system. But the book itself, it's a handmade, hand-bound book in a sort of a Sosaku Hanga tradition. What I mean is, this is a limited edition, handmade, hand-bound book that somebody has produced somewhere for his friends, or it's an art project.
Yeah.
But it uses traditional match label prints, and it's pretty heavily foxed because it's on pretty poor paper. And there's a date in here somewhere. We'll get to it in a few minutes. And what they've done is he's written a little sort of story about something.
Good handwriting.
They then had it printed by a local printing company.
Yeah.
And every page is a different color of paper with a different layout. It's sort of a funky handmade little book thing telling this story, which I haven't investigated much yet, and then illustrated with a bunch of handmade woodblock prints. Now here we are, Showa 12.
Yeah.
Showa 12. Let's do the math, Cameron. I'm Showa 26, 1951.
Minus
so
14
Showa 12
years.
is minus 14 from 51, 41, 37, 1937. While Japan was at war. That's not what Americans usually have the idea, but Japan was at war. Also, in the middle 1930s, Japan was at war with China. So anyway, so blah, 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 blah. Story. And then we get to, and when we saw these on the small little photographs that were on the auction, it could have been printed matter, lithograph. It could have been, actually, it looks sort of just
painted
hand-drawn one by one. But no, these are actually totally hand-carved, hand-printed.
Zoom in a bit on that, or no?
I'll try from here. I think I'm in that. There, we got it right there. Bingo. I'll move a little bit more to the right there, okay? And there actually are hand-cut, hand-carved woodblock prints. There's nothing remotely related to ukiyo-e here in terms of black outlines and sharp, smooth carving. They're woodblock print replicas of what somebody must have done as a very quick watercolor. You would sort of, the style in general is sometimes called haiga, like those quick watercolor paintings that go together with a poem or on a postcard or something like that. And it's an actual handmade woodblock print. The paper quality is really, really poor. This is not anything made in a heavy and a beautiful workshop. I'm going to skip just for 1 second. I'm going to skip right to the back page because we can see there's a semi sort of colophon here talking about the guy who sponsored and made this project, and he has numbered it as being 00144. Does that mean number 144 out of 99,999? I don't know. There's no other information that tells us how many they were made. And every piece of paper is different. Every page is made with a different kind of handmade washi paper.
What is in that one that would give it such a speckled look
Scraps
with
and stuff.
so many different pieces?
It's a kind of handmade paper. I don't know what specific name. These are huge chunks of bark scraps.
Yeah.
Kind of paper like this. This has nothing to do with woodblock printmaking.
Right.
It's a decorative kind of paper. It's sort of in 2 layers. They wash a thin layer first. They sprinkle a little bark scraps over, then dip it, and put a new layer on top of it.
Interesting.
For me, I'm not interested in this kind of stuff at all because it's not related to our printmaking, but it is a standard kind of from it. There's probably a name for it, which I don't know. I'm sorry. But, and it's some kind of labor of love, and a lot of the ones are labeled with the names of restaurants and or bars in the Kansai area in Osaka district. And they're all related to animals and or food objects. And they are all actual. Some of them are glued down pretty tightly, and they're all woodblock prints, glued and mounted on this little presentation. Very rough drawing, but that's the style.
It's not poorly drawn, just...
It's a style, no rough.
Yeah,
like watercolor. Splash of watercolor, yes. So it's not like the guy couldn't carve. He carved what was on the block in front of him.
Yeah.
So the production almost certainly is done by a professional woodblock printmaking workshop based on the sketches and drawings that this group of people, and they're all in a different style, so I think it's a group of people.
So textured.
Yeah, and every sheet is from a different batch of a different style.
Yeah. No, that's a cup.
A kabutomushi desu ka? I don't know. Hanga no ie. Again, we haven't explored yet who, why, what, where, but everyone is different lettering. There's one here, Nishinomiya Bar. And if I had seen this by itself, I would say this is a matchbox label. Because you can see the top here, which would go in the matchbox. Then you fold it down, and that would be along the side of the matchbox.
Right.
So some of these are closely related to actual matchbox covers. You know, the wooden matches in those boxes.
They weren't used as such.
Well, some of the others don't seem to be connected to that. It's just a curious item, and it came up, I think it was 1,600 yen or something, so nobody else was interested in it. So I thought, hey, look, let's grab this. So we'll do it. Just a curioso item. Osaka, the Osaka telephone number. That's it. And again, that's an actual match label which folds around to the back. So you're in a bar, the hostess gives you to light your cigarettes, but you've also got the phone number and a place to remember to come back here again.
Yeah.
So this is an overlapping thing.
Call that number, see if they're still there.
See if you're still there. Again, same bar, but a different picture. Yeah, a different picture. So. Just the stuff that comes up. This is cool, you know. This is all done with woodblock printmaking. It's an interesting example of the way that this technique is so flexible.
Yeah.
That you can do anything. You can make a picture of a clean-cut ukiyo-e actor, or you can make a reproduction of a watercolor washed thing. That takes a lot of blocks and a lot of relations. This, I mean, without getting under the microscope, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 or 9 blocks for sure, plus with a couple of washes of 10. There's a block.
Yeah.
You can do anything with the Japanese woodblock technique if you're willing to
put in the time.
Put in the time, yeah.
Did I miss it? What date for these prints? And 4 people answered. And then some. Wait, did you mean 1937? No, it's 1937.
Again, another matchbox. This is a matchbox. You can see the front of the matchbox, the side, and the back.
The wrap up.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of text at the beginning. We should dig through it at some point and figure out what some of these are when we get time, one day, somewhere along the line. But for now, just a quick little intro. A bunch of these are labeled, with a month. There's Ichigatsu. We saw those. You got Sanetsu. So there's a set going in here. There's a set of stuff involved. So. Start my hunger. Anyway, that'll do for now. Just a little curious item that's going to sit in our shelves if we have time to investigate it, whatever. Oh, Deutschland found 200. He says it's edition 144 out of 200.
Okay.
So it must have been a mention in the information. Okay.
Nice.
But what else is interesting that came in? It came in on Friday morning. This item, while I wasn't here. Young man, two men I think booked a print party on Friday morning, and unfortunately I was out at a meeting. I wasn't here, and he must have been a bit disappointed because he brought something to actually present to me, a handmade book that he has made, and it's the Chokokushi, a sculptor. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use because we're talking about actually a wood carver, a horishi inside,
Yeah.
but he's used the word sculptor and the word assassin. I forget the pronunciation, Cameron. Do you remember? I don't remember.
Ansatsu Sha, I think.
So it's the sculptor and the assassin. And well, here we are. He's called it the carver, whatever, different ways to read these words. The carver and the assassin, an illustrated novella. And I guess he had brought this to present to me, and he's got DB edition 1 of 1. That means, I guess, the David Bull edition 1 of 1, so I'm not sure. So does he have this published or not? I have yet to research this. I don't know if it's available or if he's publishing it or trying to get it published. And I don't actually remember having any conversation with this young man, Matt Anderson. But here he is. He came for a print party on Friday and left behind his book, which is very interestingly produced. Am I visible here in the camera? I guess it's offset printed or laser printed. I have no idea. There's a chapter of contents. It's a novella. There's a bunch of plates, images, and then the book itself. Away we go. And it's all done in sort of an interesting mix of different fonts and stuff. And let's try and find some of the pictures. One that attracted my attention, right, it said the last carving of Matsumoto. And it's on page 38. And Matsumoto, I guess, is one of the carvers in the book. Hello, Kawai-san. And when you pull out the picture, there is an illustration. Are we on camera there, Cameron-san?
Down just
That's too good. And this is a woodblock that either this young man has carved or arranged to be carved. And when I read the story page that's right beside it, somebody called Matsumoto was carving. Somebody next to him didn't like him, and actually, if I can.
And now it's his last card.
Now it's his last carving, with a movement as swift and determined as the impulse itself. Shoji jams the palm of his hand into the base of the toe. This is the toe, plunging the blade, still in his own hand, directly into Matsumoto's temple. Blood begins to drizzle, spurts and short arcs. It's actually quite a violent book, and I opened 3 or 4 of the pages. I haven't read it yet, but there's a lot of murders that happen here, and they all seem to be happening with
Carver's tools.
my carving tool.
Yeah.
so I don't know why I'm going to want to
So
get a
is
minute
the
or something.
carver also the assassin? Is it the same
I'm
person?
sorry, I don't know. So that's funny. So we
Yeah.
just have a carver at the moment of being assassinated. So I don't know yet. I don't know much more about this. So, and I'm sorry, I wasn't here to talk to this young man as he was here. So he's left it for me. I haven't read it yet, obviously. So we have here a book, and there's an extensive glossary at the back, which talks about a lot of our business.
Ski and
Ice it explains what a lot of our tools are, which I don't know if this young man is
And
a
how they're
carver
abused.
himself or whatever, I don't know.
yeah.
So there you have it. It's an interesting item, which I can't give you too much more information on. It's another plate. Oh, carving tools.
Oh, very cool.
Carving tools. So when you get a minute, Cameron-san, do a bit of Googling on this. See if this book is available. Maybe there's a Kindle version or something, or the young
He
man
does have a
selling it
website
like
on
this.
the back, on the
does
back
it?
page, I think.
Okay. Then let's let people see that.
Maybe back
Okay.
it's somewhere in there. I saw it.
Here we are. Okay. Bingo. Okay. I
Emma
searched it.
Studios, EMMA Studios.com.
And slash the carver and
The assassin.
The assassin. Okay, so you can find some information, and in a few minutes you will know more about this than I do because I have not looked this up yet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we are special thanks. Interesting. So. Oh, I'm in.
You're in the special
I'm in as well.
thanks.
Thank you. Am I here for his info site on Mokuhanga? Taking the time to answer a few questions personally. I do not remember this actually. I'm sorry.
Was it by email?
I don't know, or maybe it was quite some time ago. I'm sorry. I don't remember. Anyway, this looks hugely interesting. And what will I do? I'll take it with me to dinner time or something and have a go at reading it. And something, murder novels and stuff are not normally my thing, but given the theme here,
he is actually a subscriber to Japan Journey.
Well, I wouldn't know that because you
right, because I handle that.
So, that's the downside of the way we do things now. We have collectors and fans who I don't know, who I haven't met. Get us on. Good morning. Good morning. This young man's obviously done a lot of research and getting things organized here and learning about ukiyo-e. And whether or not I'm comfortable with the idea of my tools being used as weapons of murder, whatever, it's none of my business. So we'll have a go at this and we'll see. There's more plates, more pictures. I don't know where they are. There's another picture. What's this? What?
Some kind of illustration?
I don't really know. I'm sorry. Without having read this, I don't know. So.
Someone found the website calling it a semi-historical illustrated novella of Edo period folklore by Matthew Anderson about an ukiyo-e woodblock carver who also happens to be an assassin.
The carver is, but wait, but that part we read, the carver was being assassinated.
A co-worker who was causing trouble, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I have to catch up on this. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, I haven't even written back to the young man. He came in Friday, did this. The weekend has been so I have to settle down and
say hello.
Yeah, write a letter to him again. So I'll do a bit of looking in my email box first to see.
Yeah. Okay. It's 9:26. I don't know.
I'm not sure if this is a murder weapon. I mean, it's a very, very small blade. I mean, it's very sharp, and you could maybe if somebody sat still, you could cut their throat with it. But is it possible to kill somebody with it?
Excuse me.
I don't think it's something I really want to think about quite too much.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Okay, we've got to get going because it's me and Kawai-san only. In fact, the four of us. Kida-san?
Yes?
These four of us, you and Cameron and me and Kawai, that's it today. And we've got full parties booked.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So hanging out down here.
We'll be down here.
So whatever you were thinking about doing today, it might have to, whatever, we'll see. Anyway, we'll sort it out.
Yeah.
So Kawai-san and I will cover the parties. You and Cameron, maybe whatever. Cameron's also, he's got to get, he's got to do the book, the billing stuff this morning. Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
lots
I
of
can
new
take it in
customers.
turns. I can be
Whatever.
downstairs in the
He'll
morning.
listen. So, and it's rainy day, so it's not going to be too many people in, so we'll see. Yeah. Anyway, to the stream. Okay. Morning. I know I will be here Wednesday. I believe we will try to be here Wednesday. I will not have my computer to do the streaming with because Apple has recalled it.
Yep.
We're going to try streaming with the iMac over there.
With that dinosaur?
It's updated. We updated it to 10.12. I finally got through. It's a long story, which we'll tell some other time. But we're going to move that over here. And how many cameras I can use with it, I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We will have a stream on Wednesday, even if it looks
Like a slideshow.
like a slideshow. We'll see. We'll do something. No idea.
See you in low res on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. One way or the other. Thanks for watching.
See you
Sorry
all
about this. Back to work on Wednesday.